and welcome to The Smoke Break. I'm your host, your old pal Zane, here with Zoe Schwartz.
I'm here. Hi.
Jasmine Nothing.
Hello.
And Phillip Stewart.
CB, Bing Bong, hell yeah, I'm your friend for life. I am your friend forever, you guys. I am Phillip Stewart from the award-winning coffee shop, Beer Bar, Art Imposium, Coffee Beer in beautiful Portland, Oregon. Thank you for having me here, everybody.
Yeah,
Thank you for being here.
Yeah,
Thank you for
thank you.
joining us. And bringing your own intro.
Yeah, that was cool. We need everybody to do that.
Yeah.
Can I go now?
Now that you've nailed
That's all I
that,
had.
that's it.
That's all I had.
You have to train
they're
other
done.
people how to do intros. That's the only way we'll let you go. So this week, the topic that I wanted to talk to you about
was this disclaimer.
was this disclaimer, which is to say that we are here for entertainment purposes only and doing very well. We work in the field of mental health, but don't claim to be professionals in this space. Our intention is to have conversations around lived experience, but as a result, we may not always agree with what everything our guests say, but we do intend to hold space for conversations and learning from one another.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell
Look at
to
that.
the
I was
yeah.
wondering why the thing wasn't
Everybody.
changing. I was just like, if I talk slow enough.
I was like, am I going to say it? Or
I'm
should I
feeling
say it?
disclaimed.
Well, as long as you know where you stand and where we stand.
If you say anything we don't disagree with, we Matt. No, I'm just kidding.
So
the buzzer sound when we don't like it.
Yeah.
you are a small business owner, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So you know a little bit about capitalism, right?
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
That's the
And you
wrong
love
attitude for
it.
capitalism.
And I love it because capitalism made me have a job.
Yes, very true, very true. But there's also some commodification of like mental health and things like that. That you were mentioning that you had kind of noticed. And when you were talking about it, it kind of got me interested. Tell me a little bit about what you're thinking.
Yeah, so I don't know about the rest of you, but I spent a majority of my life not having to think about my well-being, and then all of a sudden we had phones and computers and AI and everywhere all the place, and now I'm buying an app for $70 a year, having to think about my mental health, using a $70 app to ensure my well-being. And I feel like there was a period where well-being didn't need a $70 app, so like our mental health is turning into capitalistic product.
Yep.
Even down to like what I do on a daily basis of like selling coffee, beers, and snacks, of like people coming in and being like, I've had a bad day, I need this coffee.
Yeah.
And like there's nothing wrong with treating yourself, but like
Sure.
it's getting to a point we are no longer treating ourselves in like a treat kind of way. We're treating ourselves as like, I need this app so I remember to breathe at least 3 times a day.
Yeah, which does remind me, sign up for our Patreon. We are, no, I'm just.
I'm like, we have a Patreon.
Surprise.
Smash the subscribe button.
Yep. We're actually commodifying this podcast. So please
probably
give us
should,
all your
but,
money.
yeah.
We should, but we won't put a barrier on it. That's what I feel like
No
the big
bears.
problem is, the barrier to the information if you don't pay.
Yeah.
Because it becomes this like, it's a paywall. It's a paywall. It's a, you can feel better about gatekeeping. You can feel better about yourself if you pay this much.
Exactly.
And like you feeling better is always on the end of you paying this much.
Yeah. Like literally you can go find people in your community in the surrounding towns. You can even Google these same mental health things. But instead of us doing the work, it's just being advertised to us, just like a pair of shoes where it's like, oh, we did all the work of figuring out your self-care and your self-needs. So like give us $70. Well, space.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think they put it
What
all
if that was
together.
our sponsor?
Well, space.
Yeah, Better Health, which reminds me, let's go to our commercial from Better Health.
You told me it was Chili's.
Yeah.
I had a whole bit about
It's
jalapeno
TGI
poppers. Okay.
You know we lost that sponsorship. But yeah, Chili's dropped us, imagine.
We got diarrhea too many times.
Not good for the mental health or the
Honestly,
rectal health.
Honestly. Physical health even. No, you're fine. I'm just trying to keep my train of thought, which is, so like, I feel like oftentimes like mental health gets like packaged into like it's just like they like you said, like with a shoe, like I could give you leather, I could give you rubber, but like, are you going to make a shoe? And it's like, no, I'm not. So it's like, well, I have a shoe for you and it's only $120. And it's like, okay, but like I could make something for my feet. This is a shoe analogy. I'm sticking with it. I could make something for my feet. That would cover them. That's all I need. I don't have to spend $120 on this. And I feel like,
Yeah. Why would I do the work when you're just going to let me buy the shoe without the work? And like, that's what's happening with mental health of just like, as you all three know and work in this field, there is no easy shortcut to mental health and well-being. Even if you spend $70 on the app, you have to use the app. It's
Which
not
is bullshit.
But yeah, but it's sold in that way of like, get our app or get our book on breathing and all good tools.
Can't I pay another $30 for the app to use itself and then I'm fine? Because the $70 I already spent, like, what am I?
Exactly.
I have to use this now too.
Well, can I ask you guys a question?
Yes,
Yes.
please.
What are the
We will allow
last
it.
things, even if it was today, what was the last thing that you all purchased to like help better your health? Like whether it was a snack or like, I bought these fucking shoes when I was really sad. Like, but I knew what I was doing. I knew it was retail therapy, but I was like, Daddy's sad.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend $130 on a pair of shoes called Z sponges. And like, that made me
They
feel
do look
better,
like
y'all. But I knew what I was
Briefly?
doing. Yeah. Yep.
My most recent purchase was a pack of Magic cards because, I just the little collectibles. Also, it's kind of like gambling, so I just get to like open the pack and be like, did I get anything? No, I didn't. But God, it felt good for like 3 seconds thinking
So
I
like
might.
the dopamine hit.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, that for
That is
me.
literally how you describe it.
Yep. I'm just like, I just need a dopamine.
How long does
hit.
that last for you?
Depends on what cards I get.
Ooh, okay.
That's part of the gamble.
That's
Yeah.
the exciting part.
Yeah, Zoe, what do you
I
got?
bought some alcohol last night.
But,
There you go. There you go. Some self care.
And I was cool then, and now it sucks. So
It's cool until I woke up.
At least was it good alcohol?
yeah, it was fine. I just am old, so like 3 drinks makes me feel crappy the next day. No, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that was the only one I could think of. But I also recently started paying for like a workout program thing because I wanted to get back into it, and I can't motivate myself. I struggle to motivate myself. On
Maybe
my
you
own.
should buy a motivation program.
Yeah.
So yeah,
you having trouble working
that's the
out with your
biggest-
workout app? Try our new motivation app.
now I need someone to make me do it, and I'll pay them. No, but yeah,
There you go.
that was
There
the
you go.
most biggest purchase I made was investing in that. I think it's a good investment because it has worked previously, but yes,
Yeah.
it's definitely something I shouldn't have to pay for.
Exactly.
But I do.
Well, Jasmine, please.
Yeah, Jasmine, what do you got?
I've been buying a lot of earrings, but,
Yeah.
but mostly stupid ones.
You mean stupid, good, stupid?
Stupid, like they're not pretty. They're basically like children's toys on hooks. So like, these are ice cubes
Are those ones? Are you including those in the stupid? Oh, I don't think those are stupid.
Yeah,
I
those
think
are
they're
fucking
awesome.
dope.
or silly. I mean, yeah, it's like
Silly's
not
a
even a
better word.
judgment.
Silly.
Like just
Yeah.
I buy mostly silly stuff.
I mean, what are serious earrings though? Like really, like if you think about it, those are
True.
like
those-
pretty things.
I don't know. I think yours are
Things
just
that are
as cool.
pretty.
Yeah.
So it's like you get the dopamine hit of purchasing your earrings, but then like, do you remember what you're feeling like the positive as you're wearing them, or does that fade pretty quick?
It fades pretty quick.
When people compliment
Almost
them, though, probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Validation.
Honestly, most purchases that I make are an immediate like, oh God, what have
Why
I
did I
done?
spend money on
Why
that
did
again?
yeah,
God damn it.
Yeah, like it's
Chili's.
it's Chili's. We're looking at you. We like I don't know. Like I feel like I'll buy something and I'll be like, this is the thing I need to be happy, and then I'll get it, and like as soon as I hit that button, it just like that feeling of like my happiness is on the other side of this like goes away, and now it's just like, oh okay. Now
And
I
then
just
what's
have,
the next thing?
Yeah. What's
yeah,
the
now I have to be happy with the thing, which is different. It's kind of like the app where you buy the app and you're like, okay, it's going to make me breathe. And it's like, no, you have to use the app. It's
Yeah,
like, well, I
that's
bought the equipment.
You're like, but you'd be dead if you weren't breathing.
Yeah.
So, haha, joke's on
And
you.
they also tell you to turn your phones off and like look at the screen less when you're going to bed. And you're like, that's when I need the help the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do we break this cycle, y'all? Like you all work in this field.
I mean,
like
Yeah.
what, you know
Well,
what the
luckily,
hard
we're not professionals in
I
this
don't-
space.
me neither.
I mean, I don't know if like there really is like. I mean, I think we can like be conscious of it and like be thoughtful about how we choose to engage in it. But I kind of feel like it's kind of impossible not to participate in capitalism.
Totally.
So I think it's more about figuring out like how you can be mindful about it and choosing when to do it, and then choosing when to not do it. I guess like as a way to have some control over the fact that we all are paying to feel better a lot
Yeah,
of the
like
time.
intentionally versus impulsively.
Yeah, like being like, okay, I'm doing this. I know I'm paying for this, but I know it'll, like, for example, with the working out thing, like I tried to work out on my own for so long, for like a year and a half, and I didn't do it. And then as soon as I was like, I like doing this. Okay, you know what? This was something that I kind of did need to pay. But also, the friend that's helping me do it is like, I'm helping them. They just had a baby, so I'm trying to think about it like in that way. Like, okay, yeah, I'm paying for something, but I'm paying to help somebody survive that I care about. And
Yeah, that's a little bit of community adding into it.
yeah, and my dad's helping me because I can't pay for it all by myself.
Thanks, Daddy.
Bringing like the human part back in, like that makes a big difference. Like I don't know, I think of it slightly differently when I'm buying earrings from like a person who made them versus like Amazon.
machine that just pumps out earrings, the earring machine.
Yeah.
Like when we have a bad sales day, which are plenty at Coffee Beer because it's a small business, but like my money feels better. Like if I have a bad sales day, even though I technically shouldn't be spending money, I love going to other small businesses, like spending that dollar at another business that's also in a communal journey of like, this is tough versus like getting my ice cream somewhere local versus going to like a made ice cream shop. Like it feels like that helps me feel a little better about the commodification of like therapy. Like if I didn't make a lot of money, at least I can give money to someone else.
Well,
like,
I think that paying it forward thing, the understanding of community and just seeing like, okay, if I'm struggling a little bit with the little I have, then like I assume that you over here might be struggling as well. How do I like make sure that like I'm acknowledging both that like I'm having a hard time, you're having a hard time, but we could each help each other do a little bit better.
It's an ecosystem of taking care of each other.
Yes.
And again, because capitalism, we have to keep buying and selling things. But like I think that's been the really beautiful thing of like helps me get through the commodification of mental health of like it's like what you found with your friend. You know, it's like, yeah, we're all in this game together, but at least, you know, we're gonna help each other through it.
Yeah, no, I was even thinking about when I said my dad. That sounds bad, but I've not been able to work as much because my dad's aging and I've been helping him. And so I was like, Dad, something I could really use your help with is I really want to start working out again so I don't lose it.
Yeah.
And would you help me pay for this thing so I can, you know, and then I was like, and then I'm more available for you and not want to cry every time I see you because I'm stressed out, you know. So as much as it's like, but that's the community. Like I need to be there for my dad more, and so I asked him because he has the ability to help, and so I think
that's incredible.
I think it's a better way of thinking about it. Like you know, like how do we help each other while we have to spend money on
and
stuff.
I'm sure that helped. Your dad feels great getting a chance to help you. Like
totally, and I can be more present for him when I have free time because I'm not as stressed out. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of this like we all have to pay into it, unfortunately. But
and sometimes I feel like it's fucked up because like every single one of my friends is broke, and then it's like the same $20 is just being like crowdfunded in a circle.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
But I don't know what to do about that either.
it's better that it's going in our circle than other circles.
Fair enough.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that, you know, if mental health is going to be commodified, then like our act of rebellion would be like sharing what we know freely with each other.
Absolutely.
You know, like
totally.
the conversations that we have with each other that, you know, I learned this from a book. You don't have to buy the book and read fucking 17 hours into it. I'm just going to share what I learned.
Yeah.
Like,
Or you can borrow the book or you can have the book.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, even on our little platform on Instagram and TikTok at Coffee Beer Me. Sponsor me, Chili's.
It's especially great
Or
because
Zoe's
there's like
dad.
not even a Chili's anywhere near us.
But even then, like the breathing thing has been really helpful for me, and it's something I've practiced. I have gotten the $70 app, but now I don't pay for it because I figured it out. But like something I've started doing, and it's free for me, and it helps promote the business. But like using the platform that I have and making a post that just says "Take 12 seconds to breathe right now," and like sure, the post maybe only got 48 likes, but the number of people that have walked up and said, "Thank you for that," and like that cost me nothing.
Did you just say you had an unpopular post with 48 likes?
I know that was a nice little flex.
Yeah. Well, maybe it only got like 48 likes out of the 1 million followers we have, but you know, what are you gonna?
I mean, I'm shooting for the stars,
Humble brag.
baby.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
I'm getting those Chili's numbers.
Absolutely. No, you have to be able to be worthy of them.
Yeah. But yeah, taking a moment to realize what tools we have and getting to share them with people so that they don't have to spend $70 on an app.
Yeah.
And if I can post something and that gets 48 likes and people are like, "Thank you," like that makes it all worth it. It takes money out of the bigger system and it keeps us talking amongst ourselves, which capitalism does not want us doing.
They don't want it, which is why the smoke break is an act of rebellion.
Yeah.
Cheers.
But I don't know. I think that, you know, ultimately where we spend our money is where we get to decide where we want to put our power. So, you know, spending it within communities, spending it with each other. I think that, you know, ultimately you can find out just about anything if you talk to people and ask enough questions, because that's why I started the shows, because I was like, I can learn something from everybody. So yeah, just keep the conversations going between each other.
Amazing.
And the money.
And the money. Goddamn, and the money. All right, we're going to take a real quick break and we'll be right back with the smoke break. And welcome back to the Smoke Break. I'm your host, your old pal Zane, here with Zoe Schwartz.
I'm here.
Jasmine Nothing.
We talked about Chili's the whole time we were on break.
And Phillip Stewart.
Bing bong.
Oh my God, this is too much fun. Okay, so the thing that we wanted to talk about during this portion is mental health almost being used as like I don't know. Some people will say like, oh, well, they're in therapy, so, I guess that's like good enough. And I don't think that being in therapy is good enough. That's like saying you went to school but didn't do any of the work.
Yeah.
Like that's, I don't know. It's like going to a place does not mean that you're absorbing the information. I went to church and fucking retained none of it, you know?
And people are starting to weaponize the fact that like for so long, it was like, it wasn't matter if you were getting better. It was just like, are you going to therapy? And now people are weaponizing it. And we were talking about this before the show of just like, well, I'm going to therapy, babe.
Yeah,
and they start using like,
Working
though
on
you were bringing up
myself.
therapy words.
Yeah. I feel like I've dated some dudes that they went to therapy and now they just use therapy words to be shitty. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't think you're doing it right.
Yeah.
So it's the difference between knowing and doing is what comes up for me around that.
Yeah.
Like,
To the point that I see it on like, and I'm in a beautiful poly relationship and I'm on the dating apps. And so seeing that on people's like green flags or like what is required to date them isn't like
therapy.
being a good mental health space. It's like, are you in
are
therapy?
you paying someone?
And you're like,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Do you have enough money to afford mental health?
Yeah, do you have $70?
Totally. No, yeah.
Yeah, well, and I think I don't think it's necessarily an indicator,
No.
Like I don't think that just going to something is enough. What do you think is the amount of work that needs to be done? Like so, if going to therapy isn't enough, what's the thing that like would make it enough?
Being a nice person.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So it's like church. You don't have to do it. You just have to be a nice person.
I think like
I
the
never thought
idea of
about
like
that.
just being like willing to acknowledge like that you might not be doing everything perfect is like a big one for me. Like,
Yeah.
and so like maybe instead of it being like you're in therapy, it's like you are doing work to learn about how you could grow and change and understand how you're not perfect.
Jasmine, when you hear that people are in therapy, are you impressed? Like if you're like talking with someone and they're like, yeah, just been going to therapy lately. It's been going really well. Like, does that impress you much?
Not so much these days.
Okay, I'm quitting. I did it to impress you. It didn't.
You're
work.
going to save $70.
I
Yes,
need a new
I am.
job.
So what's your answer?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's that impressive anymore as it is like therapy is like more attainable. I'm much more interested in like people's behavior.
Yeah.
I was just thinking like being reflective. I feel like so many folks can go to therapy and still not be remotely reflective on their own
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
I think therapy is like also about the process of becoming self-aware.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And some of the people that love to brag about therapy are the least self-aware people that I've
Yeah.
ever met. And you're like, kind of like what you were saying, like, yeah.
The least reflective person I can think of in my head right now is a person who constantly talked about how she was the most reflective person, and her therapist was always telling her like, "You're so reflective. This is so impressive."
Yeah.
And she had
Interesting.
0.
Well, and I feel like the problem like with therapists no, I feel
Hard
like the
side
problem
eye.
with some therapists is that there's the potential for that person to just tell you that you're right all the time.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like
Mhm.
that's the like if you said that like I'm going to therapy and my therapist challenges me, then I might
Yeah.
be impressed. But if like they're not challenging you, then you just found you're paying to have a yes man or woman
This
or
is-
them.
Yeah. Well, and this is how you know. If you ever been like, fuck, I don't want to tell my therapist that. That's how you know your therapist is calling you
Extra
on your shit.
useful.
Yeah, because I've like, and we've all probably like withheld information from our therapist if we've had therapy.
And the cops.
Yeah.
One of these I recommend. One of these I don't.
Yeah. But I think that's a good indicator for anybody who's wondering if they're doing that with their therapist. Like, do you sometimes hate what your therapist says to you? Are you sometimes scared to tell your therapist something?
Yeah.
That's how you know your therapist is not just telling you you're right all the
Yeah.
time. I would say that's a good indicator.
Therapists are kind of like mechanics. Like, it is a
Yeah.
general skill level.
Yeah.
But like, do you know how hard it is to find a mechanic and a therapist?
Yeah.
Like, I can't look for both at the same time. I have to I have to get a therapist and then a mechanic. And it's like, yeah, you can say you're going to therapy, doesn't mean you're going to good therapy.
Yeah.
Or even the most well-practiced therapist.
Well, I like the mechanic analogy just because I think of like going in to get one thing fixed and then them being like, oh, you get your air filter, and you're
Yeah.
like, What?
You're like, yeah. I'll just go to Jiffy Lube and get it myself.
Yeah,
So,
and they're like, no. I need to commodify this. I need you to pay me extra money to change the air filter. And you're just like, wait, so I just had to breathe? Like that's my air filter?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess let's just do that. I don't know how.
Girl, look how dirty it is. You're like, tap it on the ground. Show me how dirty it is after that.
Well, all of you are in the storytelling and comedy scene. Like, do you see that with performers on stage that like either bring it up, as part of their routine or their stories? Or do you ever, I'm sure you've seen people that are on stage and you're like, you should be in therapy, not on stage right now?
I don't like it when people say, this is my therapy. We're like, that's the problem.
That happened in art school too. People are like, and when I say other people, it was me. That was like, I once had a partner that was like, Philip, there's nothing ultimately wrong with you, but you would benefit from therapy. And I quite literally bold-facedly looked them in the eyes and was like, babe, camera. Babe, my art is my therapy.
Yeah.
Clip it.
No, I do think it's therapeutic, but sometimes
to
there
grow
are
up.
people that say that, and you're like, yeah, and that's why everything you're saying makes everybody really uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, that's because therapy, I feel like most often, like I'll say in my case, for me, therapy is processing. It's saying the hard things and working through them.
Mm-hmm.
Comedy is saying hard things that you've already worked through.
Yes.
Ooh.
That's how
That makes
there's that's why there's humor there, is because I can tell that you're over it. If you tell me that somebody used to pick on you and I can tell that it still hurts you, I'm going to feel the pain that you're feeling with you.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So I think that like it has the potential to be like a point of connection, because I do think that like sharing your ideas aloud and finding out that other people relate with them can be extremely helpful.
Absolutely.
But finding out that you're alone in front of a room of people, not super helpful.
Yeah.
I've heard and experienced.
Zane, I really like what you said there. And I think therapy and comedy and storytelling is the same. And something I've been working on in both therapy, storytelling, and comedy is like, you want to convey the idea of your journey. You don't want to put the weight of what you've been through on your audience. And I've struggled with this firsthand with some of the first stories I told. They were fucking sad.
Yeah.
And when I got done telling them, I was like, I am still sad. And I just put all of my sadness, though there were a few jokes in there, like I put all of that sadness on the audience, and that's not what you want. And I think that's the same with people that say they're in therapy but aren't actually doing the work. They put it out there, and then you feel the weight of their shitty story, and you're like, oh yeah, you've not done the work.
Yeah.
You've said it.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like with the thing that you were saying just there about like people just being like, oh yeah, comedians and stuff just being like, I'm going to therapy. The thing that annoys me when that happens is when there's no self-reflection. It's just the statement of I'm going to therapy. It's like you could have not told me that and then just told me the next thing, and I would have made that connection that you weren't or that you were or weren't. You know what I mean? Like it's to say like I'm depressed, like even just like outward like acknowledgments without a kind of like a solution or a resolution, like it feels bad to me, because it's just saying like I'm depressed. Yeah, I am too.
Yeah.
Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's a joke after it? There's not. Oh, then it's just a reminder. Cool.
It's happened a couple times in the last few years. Like all my stories when I started out doing storytelling were like so fucking sad, and I would have gone back at them and been like, oh no, like why this is surprising this ever worked. And I've like taken bits from those and like brought them into the future and made them less sad. And there was like no funny bits in the first couple of years at all. But one of the things that happens, just thinking, like when people come up to me afterwards and like check on me, I'm like, ooh, I fucked up. This is not exactly the way, because like I might feel done with it, or like I was just like communicating some feelings or thoughts I've had. But if people are still checking on me afterwards, I feel like I needed to change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I hear that. Yeah.
Well, and I think it's oftentimes how we end a story or end a joke or end even a song that like
how are you leaving people?
Yeah, exactly. It's like you can take them on a journey, but like you want to leave them where you kind of left off, where it's like if you are actually in a better off space, make sure that they are able to feel that at the end of the story. Otherwise, you just took them on a long, shitty journey, and now they're sitting in the swamp with you.
This sounds like camping.
Yeah.
You leave the campsite cleaner and better than when you found it. And sometimes camping is a long, shitty journey.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Every time. I'm not a camping fan.
Just like therapy. Camping and therapy.
Camping and therapy. No, I think that it's very easy to think because you've started a journey that like you've completed it. And I think that a lot of people would be like, oh, I'm going to therapy. It's like, but yeah, have you gone to therapy?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Is it a completed fucking act? And then, like, obviously none of it's completed, but I mean, I think that most oftentimes when we say that we're doing something, we get like the dopamine hit of everyone acknowledging that we're doing something, and not like you don't get the actual hit from completing the task. You know?
How do you know when you don't need therapy anymore? Like when you're theoretically like done.
You just graduate. There's like a celebration. You throw your hat up. That's
There's a cake.
Yeah, I think Tom Cruise comes and talks.
I think when you like from the perspective of being a therapist, it's like when they're coming, but also I have to get insurance to pay, so it's tricky. But I think it's when people come in and like all we're doing is just celebrating good stuff, which I love doing, and it's super fun. And obviously you want that to be like a good
part of it,
a decent chunk of it. Ideally, it would be that stuff. But yeah, I think that's like that's when insurance won't pay for it anymore if you're just only being happy.
You mean back to the commodification?
Yeah, no,
Exactly.
totally. That part's tricky. No, yeah, but I think
you told me you're sadder, otherwise I have to drop you.
I mean, if we're talking about like therapy in the traditional sense, I mean, I think that's tricky because there's a million reasons why people may or may not access therapy. Either they don't have the means to do so, or it's culturally like not something that they would feel comfortable doing, or that they think is normal or helpful. But I think the idea that like we go in and out of needing more support around our healing and growth, and that it probably is ideal at certain points to go out and try things on your own. And then maybe you hit a bump and then you're like, you know what? I think I need to like reinvest in some extra support. So
maybe like no one's ever actually done needing therapy, but sometimes you need therapy twice a week and sometimes you need therapy quarterly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I like to tell my clients I go to therapy too. I'm like, just because we do this doesn't mean we don't need it.
or because you do this, it makes you need it more.
Yeah. But I mean, I needed it before and I'll need it after and I need it currently. You know, like I don't do that because I'm perfect at it.
I felt sad before I took on all your trauma.
I have my own too.
So I love that you shared that story, because like I think ultimately when I think about like mental health as clout or as celebration or as making a point of like I'm doing something, I think it really has to come from within. You're the only one that can give yourself clout. When you are saying it as something, an external thing, you're looking for that external validation. When therapy works and when you know you're done with maybe just that topic, it's kind of just a feeling. Like people are going to see that you're resonating, but no one's going to be able to tell you you're done now.
Yeah.
Like you will know when you've passed that event horizon.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's a difficult thing is that, you know, we're always us. So like seeing like movement, it's hard to tell that you're moving if like if you don't have anything to base it off of. If you're always you, if you're always inside of a box, then like you can't really judge how big things are because all you have is the box to judge it off of.
Yeah, like how do you get perspective?
Yeah, how do you get perspective?
Just thinking of like a little kid, like you see a little kid every day, the kid always looks the same.
Yep.
But you see a little kid like every 6 months, you're like, holy shit, that kid got big.
Yeah.
But you have to get that like external perspective.
Yeah. And I feel like we do that often with ourselves where it's just like you're looking at yourself every day. You're like, I've always looked like this. And it's just like you would think that if you were always you know, if you watch those progress day by day. So yeah, I think like sometimes it's nice to get that external validation, but I think at the same time it's more important to like you're ultimately going to know if you're over something. It's not
100%.
going to be signified by like, so I'm good now. And then people are like, yes, you are good now. And you're like, cool. Well, then I'll keep moving. It's just like, that's now I can function. It's like, I don't think that it's like that. I think that, you know, that you may be even able to tell, you know, that you have moved past something or moved through something before other people can, because, you know, that's the external validation is good for like maybe recognizing when you have a hard time recognizing something in yourself, but like at the same time, they're not going to be able to recognize everything in you.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Preach.
I like it.
all right. Well, cool. We are going to take a real quick break and we will be right back with the smoke break. And welcome back to the smoke break. I'm your host, your old pal Zane, here with Zoe Schwartz,
Hi.
Jasmine Nothing,
Still talked about chilies.
and Phillip Stewart.
Hell yeah.
So we're going to do our segment, which is called You Probably Are, which is where we read a story from the Am I the Asshole Reddit. And today's story will be read by Jasmine Nothing.
So am I the asshole? I'm a high schooler with a weekend job at a coffee shop.
Yes.
My coworkers who work weekends are James, the owner's son. He goes to my school. He's a shift manager, but it's not a real formal thing. He's a friendly guy. And Danielle, a college student who sometimes works weekends too. So sometimes customers will come in and just be angry about like such little stuff, like literally blow up about nothing. I don't know if they're in a bad mood already and looking for someone to take it out on or what, but it's a lot. Like, how sad do you have to be a grown-ass man taking your anger out on high school and college kids? Okay. So James and I were joking about having a little fun with them and hopefully getting some of them off our backs. So one day I was at work and some guy was having a temper about how we weren't making that coffee hot enough, which I couldn't do because it's a machine and I can't actually do anything. But
Phillip, confirm.
Preach. Yeah.
Okay.
So James came in and was like, "Sir, is there a problem here?" And the guy started ranting at him too. So he was just like, "Oh, this is unacceptable. You're fired," to me. And I started acting real sad. Like, "No, please don't fire me. My family needs the money. I need this job, please." And he played up being a hard ass, telling me to take off my apron and leave right now.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Beautiful.
I said I was sorry. Sorry, guys.
The angry guy started to backtrack. Like, "It isn't that big of a problem. You don't need to fire her over it. I didn't mean it." And James was like, "No, we pride ourselves on the best customer service only." Of course, after all that drama, I still had my job. We were just acting. And now we've done it a couple of other times. Whenever a customer loses their temper at Danielle or I, James will storm in and fire us. And almost every time, the person who had come in angry will apologize and say they didn't actually mean it. It's kind of satisfying, making people realize their actions might actually have consequences. Anyway, I was telling my friends from school about this, and a few of them thought it was a mean prank to let someone go away thinking they'd gotten someone who desperately needs the money fired. So, am I the asshole for this joke?
No.
No, it's a good lesson.
Yeah. Fuck those people that are sympathizers to the person that was acting bad. They need to learn lessons.
Yeah.
I think that person is an asshole. I think it's totally, what, are you serious? Those people wanted their coffee hotter. It's not a big ask. Just heated it. Is nobody on my team with this?
I just was waiting to see how you were going to disagree, because you always do disagree.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
you should make the coffee
as a coffee shop owner, I'm soaking this all in, waiting to pounce.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, she was in high school, automatically an asshole. Automatically, right off the top. Right off the top.
That was kind of my assumption.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as you told me that, I was like, yeah, she's an asshole. And then you're like, there's more? Oh, never mind. Also, I can't believe that you would just let somebody believe that you were impacted in a way that you might actually be impacted if they were as big assholes as they are.
Yeah.
So,
how terrible.
Yeah, thank you. So she is an asshole. I decided.
That's the takeaway. Yeah,
final judgment.
You've changed all of our minds.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You're welcome. I'm glad we all agree.
Perfect.
Let's talk about our last cheery topic, mortality. It seems better with jazz hands.
Most things do.
We're all going to die.
But not yet. We don't think.
Sometime.
So I've been staying with my mother, who is getting older. And that's
technically your mom has been staying with you. Yeah, it does sound different.
It does. It sounds like I'm in a rough patch, and I'm actually doing pretty good.
After that rant about coffee,
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, they just got a new place. Let's give them credit.
Yeah, I did. I just got my own place. My mom wanted to come visit. We haven't had that availability, the space, the opportunity. So my mom's coming and visiting. I'm realizing how old she is. Because
how old is she?
How old is she? She's so old that it's making me sad she's gonna die.
Hilarious.
Brought to you by Chili's.
Oh my God.
I did predict that this was going to be a silly hour.
Our mental health is great.
Yeah, we're doing fine. But so all of our parents are going to die or might be dead. And I'm sorry to hear that. But we got to process it. We have to process their mortality, our own mortality.
Also, we don't have to be sorry that people die.
No.
There's a few people in my family where I'm like, I'm kind of glad you're gone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm excited that I'm going to die one day. I don't want to do this forever.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is that
it's too much.
Yeah.
I think that things have value when they have limits, right? Like anything with a limit has a value. Like there's not that much gold, therefore gold has more value. I think we just figured out how to turn lead into gold. Who cares? Whatever. There'll be more. It'll be less valuable.
Alchemy.
But
there's movies about that, isn't there? Like where people are immortal and then they're just like, none of this fucking matters, so I'm just going to be a terrible person or something.
Yeah,
that's the storyline of A Christmas Story.
Yeah, exactly. The immortal being Saint Nick. But yeah, I think that mortality is something that we all have to face, and ultimately, our being able to come to peace with it, no pun intended, is I don't know. I think it's important, but it's also really fucking difficult.
Yeah,
because no one wants to think about it.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about, like, when we talked about this topic, I was thinking about the idea, because like I also have I have an aging parent that I've been helping care for, and that I mentioned earlier, and I'm just laughing because I said my dad helped me in.
Looking
I helped
great.
him
Those
too.
that workout plan's working.
No, yeah, I know.
It's gonna be like, your dad's Asian? Okay. But
Okay, but what I was thinking, what I think about, wait, what was I going to say about death?
got
I
a really
think
old dad.
that we do a shitty job of talking about death. We pretend like it's not going to happen. We all do these things all day, every day to avoid it. Turns out we have no control over when it actually happens. And a lot of the health things we think we have control over, we actually don't. Anyway, but I digress. But I think that it does us a disservice to not think about death for multiple reasons. One of them being that like we are going to have to lose people that we love, and we don't know how to deal with it because we don't talk about it. And then I think also just the idea that like if you think about the fact that you're going to die, then you tend to be a lot more intentional about what you do every day. So I think it's good for your mental health in that way, but also just practically, I think we should talk about death more because we all have to deal with it in different ways at some point in our lives, multiple points. So that's where I went with it.
what about you, Phil?
I think death is something they use to get us to buy more stuff. I think this is my soapbox. I'm like, I am so tired of vitamins. God damn, like 41, like thinking about it, like I am okay with death. I've come to it. The hard part is seeing the other people you love, seeing their physical vessels struggle and fade, and even seeing their mental and their emotional fade. That part I think is harder than death.
Absolutely.
I think dying's probably the fucking easy part, and I can't wait.
Yeah,
but
I think I can die.
Yeah.
Other people shouldn't.
You're going to be great at it.
Other people shouldn't, but I think I can do it like pretty well.
I'm going to die better than anyone ever has.
Oh, how do you want to die?
In my sleep, ideally.
Ideally. I want to be fired out of a cannon over the Bass Pro Shop.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't know.
Jasmine, how do you?
Dream.
I'm pretty sure Zane wants to die a hero. We've talked about this before.
Yeah, and going over the Bass Pro Shop is the heroic move, the final move.
I don't actually know them at all. It's fine. Everything's changed.
Yeah.
You think you know someone, and then they talk about the Bass Pro Shop, and it's all.
Jasmine, how you going out?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe like jumping out of an airplane gone wrong.
Really?
Like
You want to die while you're having a panic attack?
Why not?
you got some time to like think on the way down.
Yeah.
I mean, I did go skydiving once correctly, and it went great.
Oh, you didn't have a panic attack. Okay,
and
it just gives me
no,
a
it was
panic
super
attack.
fun.
I
It
projected.
was beautiful, and it is a wild experience. That it's been over 20 years, and I still think about it sometimes. Of just like, God, like that was so cool.
Yeah.
And like one of the most like pure adrenaline rushes I've ever had. And if you get to do that all the way until just like,
Yeah.
That makes
the
me think
end.
Yeah.
Point Break.
Yeah,
You guys-
for real.
You all remember that movie Point Break?
Sure.
That makes me want to skydive a little bit.
Fair enough.
Please tell me if this is silly. I didn't mention how I'd prefer to go. I want to be part of a blooper when I die. So like, I want people to be sad about me dying. They'd be like, fuck, Philip's not around.
Yeah.
Like, but I also want to be like, did you hear how he died?
Yes.
Being like,
Yes.
yeah, he was trying to train a bear how to dance on a ball, and the bear mauled him.
Kind of asked for
And
it.
so like, yeah, I want that. I want like a good chuckle. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
said blooper, but my first thought was flash mob, and then I was trying to think of like if you could somehow have a flash mob be part of how you die.
Yeah, like what if they panicked, they were dancing and then all of a sudden it was like a stampede, a
Panic
flash
at the disco?
stampede. Yeah, there's a panic at the disco.
Or the
My hair
funeral.
bursts into flames.
Judging from my BMI, if I'm dancing, I'm dying from a heart attack.
Ooh, I'm not. If I'm dancing, kill me, please. I fucking hate dancing. That's how I want to go, is not dancing.
No murder on the dance floor tonight.
No.
When it comes to aging parents, though, I was thinking about it when we decided on this topic because I am just like estranged from mine. I haven't seen them for like some, I don't know, 10 or 15 years. And sometimes I think about like, I know that they're super old because I look at them on the internet every once in a while and be like, yep, way older now. And I'm like, oh, they're going to die probably in not like super long. But I ask, and like, how am I going to feel about that? It's just the thing that comes up sometimes. Like, will I be like, oh, why didn't I spend more time?
Yeah.
Or will I like regret the estrangement? Or will anyone tell me that they did? My grandma died and nobody told me because I don't talk to my parents. So like like a cousin that I hadn't talked to in many years reached out like a year after it happened or whatever.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm just curious like how that'll ultimately pan out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something I have noticed since I've been dealing with this is just how different these experiences are for everybody. Like with my partner, I was like, would you care for your parent, and and like just I'm not gonna put him on blast, but like just like how everybody has a different experience with their parents, and so the idea of what you do when they start to die is really different for all of us, and it brings up all sorts of shit, even for me who is actively caring.
The weird part for me is that my parents have told me where they've been hiding all of their stuff. They're like, if anything happens to me and your mom, the gun cabinet is in this closet. And I found out that my parents have a hideaway wall in their basement where there's like just a Ziploc bag full of cash. So like they've been thinking about death, and they've actually been setting me up. I'm very fortunate. Like they were like, here's the combo for the guns. Here's a Ziploc full of cash. And I was like, why can't I have had that in my childhood? Yeah. Guns and cash. Like, why are you guys holding the good stuff until you're dead? Yeah, so now, like, I'm seeing their death as resentment. Yeah. Of being like,
because they know how fun all that stuff is. They're
I
like,
know,
guns
it's
and
going to
money.
be so good when they die.
I think that...
It's got dark.
Listen, we started off talking about death and going, we.
Yeah. Jazz hands.
I think that I don't know. I hadn't really thought about my mom dying until she was just like, I'm going to die. And I was like,
wait, what?
Whoa. And she was just like, yeah, we should talk about like what to do. And I was just like, okay, yeah, I guess we should. And it's like, that's like a conversation that you don't really ever like, may happen someday, but you don't know when it's going to happen.
Yeah,
like,
you don't want to think about it.
Yeah. When am I going to be like, so mom, what are we going to do? Or is she going to approach me? Like, so I'm going to die someday. It was such a thing that I couldn't prepare for, that like at first I was kind of like joking about it, and I'm like, my mom said she's gonna die, and then like I was sitting there by myself last night after she had passed out, and I was like, my mom's gonna die. But I think that understanding has also allowed for a lot more patience, because I don't think I was very patient with my parents before, because I was just like, you're going to be around forever because you've been here the entire time I've been alive.
And that's how that works. Yeah.
And that's how that works. Yeah. And so like the things that I would say like maybe annoyed me before are things that I have a little bit more patience for, where I don't know, especially I would say like with aging parents in mortality, like they kind of come to understand more over time too.
Oh, totally.
And you kind of have to watch them be like, oh, I fucked up. And you got to be like, it's like, yeah, now what do I do? Like, I can't hold this resentment for somebody who like knows that they fucked up and is like trying with what time they have left to make amends for that.
Yeah.
So
no, that's a good point. I think, no, my dad's definitely been like being kinder to me and more thoughtful about who I feel like he always just saw, which I think is a thing. He just saw me as like a projection of him, or like a whatever the word is. Extension. There we go. Of him. And even like more than my other siblings, like because I'm kind of like the black sheep of the family. And I think he, whatever that means. And I think he felt like
You're
he
black
was.
and Asian? Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Not. No, but just watching him like realize that I'm my own person, and that I'm not the shitty teenager that I was 25 years ago or whatever. And like, he's like, wow, you're like a really good person, and you're like helpful, and you're like kind. And I'm like, as much as it's like healing, I'm like, why the fuck didn't you realize that until now? It's this weird combination of like, this feels so good. And then also the reason it feels so good is because you never said it to me before.
Yeah.
So,
thank you and fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I'm a little bitter. I will forgive people, and I will move forward. I've moved on from the atrocities my parents put me through. But like, there's a part of me, even though they're the biggest champions in my life, and even though they're getting closer to death, there's a part of me that's like, nah, I'm not letting, like, I love you, but why weren't you better back then?
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here now. Kind of like therapy. I wish you were better before, but I'm glad you're here now. But you could have done this 20 years earlier, guys.
Yeah.
And I'm skipping all of that by just like not talking to them.
Right?
Yeah.
So whatever.
So I can dodge this? I just have to avoid my mom for a couple of years. And...
Well, and I just didn't have kids, so I don't ever have to like hear about how I fucked them up.
Oh, smart. I never thought about it like that.
Watch it happen. Yeah, a big part of why I think I chose not to is I was like, I have a lot of anxiety, a lot of guilt, a lot of shame. I don't know if I need that projected onto
like
a person
miniature versions of these.
Yeah. Like I think maybe
nobody else needs this.
Yeah, exactly. So not that there's any shame to people that have kids, and we're all fucked up. So
Shame.
Yeah, I don't want to do it. Other people should.
Yeah, no, I mean, do it. It's braver than me, but also kind of maybe a good choice for me.
I don't know. I think ultimately for me, I have a better understanding of mortality by watching somebody very close to me, moving closer and closer to that line. It also reminds me that like I only have so much time here. And I also only have so much time here with them. So I think the goal is going to be like, how do I spend this time in the best way that I can, that's beneficial to both, that's beneficial and acknowledging of just our short time here.
Yeah, it helps us be intentional.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like it. That's good.
What's the last thing that you guys would leave to like your last loved one? Like a quick, like what's in your will? What's the last most precious thing that you would want to bequeath?
Pick. My afro.
That's good. Who gets
one
that?
Of the 12.
Who gets it?
Who would you prefer gets your?
That's a big one. That's a big one. I would say Jasmine, because Jasmine always has like an extra afro pick anyways, and then you would mix up. You'd be like, which one's which? But you would mark it because, you know, you're a sweetheart.
Good God.
What about you, Zoe?
I don't know if I have a material thing that I feel that strongly about.
You heard it. We just wrote the will right now.
Yeah, you can totally have my car.
Fuck yeah.
You want me to just go die now?
I'm cutting the brakes. Also, I need to. Does anybody know how to fix
the brakes?
Phillip knows a mechanic and a therapist.
Sabotage.
It's the same person. Sometimes they get confused on what they're doing to what.
Jasmine, what's your?
Probably just like not like expensive stuff. I just like tiny ghost drawings everywhere. Like when we moved out of my last house, I drew a ghost inside one of the closets where you would only see it if you like walked in and then turned around and faced out the door, which a little kid was moving in. So I was like, I wonder if this kid will maybe sometime hide in this closet and just see a little ghost that says like, thanks for living here.
Yeah. An adult doesn't have that much whimsy to walk into a closet and turn around.
No.
Except for me when I walked into a closet and did that exact thing.
I'm going to need someone to compete for this last prize.
Okay.
There's a lot of takers that could get my most bequeathed prize, but it's a lifelong gift, and I'm really excited about it. It is my beautiful collection of cast iron pans.
Wow.
There's like 12 to 13. Like, it's going to last you a lifetime. You're going to think of me every time you make a meal.
Perhaps several lifetimes.
Yeah,
pass it to other people after that.
Yeah, like you're going to have great meals because of your dead friend,
I like
Phillip.
that one. I thought of one.
It's your dead friend, Phillip.
I thought of one that I would.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave to you, Zane.
Okay.
I have a bag of my dead dog's hair.
Oh, wow. Damn, that's very sweet.
That feels
caught
like
me off guard.
right now. I think it's the most sentimental. I had a lock of my grandma's hair, but I lost it somehow. So yeah, another person's hair, because that's creepy, and they're dead, and now I'll be dead too.
I chopped off chunks of my hair on stage during my show on Thursday. Probably should have put that in a bag. Give that to somebody else later
there
on.
you go. Tape it to the inside of the wall where a little kid will find it.
Yeah. Happy Arbor Day. Here's my hair.
All right. Well, that has been the Smoke Break. I've been your host, your old pal Zane. Here with Zoe Schwartz,
Bye.
Jasmine Nothing,
That was ridiculous.
and Phillip Stewart.
Bing bong.
I hoard dog hair.
Way to play us.
We're gonna die.
Chili's baby back ribs.